Okay, so now I'm going to run through this section again. This time I'm going to be timed, and I'm going to act the way that I would act if I were actually doing this on the SAT. The only real difference is I'm using a pen still. You would use a number 2 pencil, and you'd have a Scantron and all that stuff. But for the most part, this should be a pretty accurate representation of what to expect. So you can kind of see how I do this. I'm going to pretty much rush through it the first time, and I'm going to get maybe 70% of it. That's what I'm aiming to get, and hopefully that'll take like 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to be able to spend the last 15 minutes on the last 30%, and also with checking my answers. That's how I tend to like to take tests. I never run out of time. I just the first run through, you're always just kind of rushing, doing all the simple stuff. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to start. Okay. So here's the directions, skipping it. Okay, x is equal to that, k is equal to 3, okay. X minus 1 over 3 is equal to 3, so x minus 1 is equal to 9. So x is 10, d, alright. 2, I is imaginary, what's the sum of these two things? 7 minus 8, that's minus 1. Okay, so, and then 3 plus 9, okay, so that's a. So that's a. 3. Okay, skip to the question. Which of the following represents the total number of messages sent by these two dudes on Saturday? Armand sent M messages each hour for 5 hours. So 5 hours. And Tyrone sent P messages each hour for 4 hours. So that's 4 times P. So that's 5M for, not that one, it's this one. 5M and 4P. Yeah, okay. So far so good. I'm not going to read this. Okay, that's a linear equation. What is the meaning of the value 108? Okay, so that's going to be the y-intercept. Kathy will complete the repair. That doesn't sound like y-intercept. Kathy starts each week with 108 phones to fix. There's at a rate of 108. Okay, rate, that's slope. Rate is slope. Kathy starts the week with 108. So that sounds like something that is 0, so that would be B. Okay, 5. Notice how I didn't even read that problem. I just got the important stuff and then moved on. Okay, it's equivalent to the expression. Okay, so I'm going to simplify. So that's going to be x plus, or x squared y plus x squared y, and there's no other x squared y. Okay, so that's 2x squared y's. So that's 4, that's 1, that's 2x squared y's. Okay, so it's either C or D. Okay, 3y squared, 3y squared, okay, but it's a plus of 3y squared. So minus 3 plus 3, so that's 0. Okay, so it's not D, it's C. Okay, move on. Okay, I have an equation, I'm not going to read this. Based on the model, what is the estimated increase in inches of a boy's height each year? Okay, the increase each year. Okay, that's a slope. That's slope terminology. So it's asking what the slope is. The slope is 3. Say, okay. 7. Okay, I'm going to skip this one because this looks like a pain. But I'm going to mark it to come back to that one. It's like all of the answer choices are just all over the place. That one could take some time. 8. Okay, if A over B is 2, what's the value of 4 times B over A? B over A, okay. So A is equal to 2 times B. So 4B over A, which is 2B. Well, that's just 2. Okay. And so algebra, at this stage when you take the SAT, if algebra is second nature to you, you're going to do way better. You're going to be a lot faster. Okay, I have a system of linear equations. What's the solution? Okay. This one's going to take some time, so I'm going to come back to it. 10. G is equal to this expression, or this is a function, okay. A is a constant, G of 4 is 8. What's the value of G of negative 4? Okay, well this is an even function. So I actually did this really quickly in my head, the first one through. So that's A. Okay, here's an expression. It looks like a system of linear equations. What is the price per pound of beef when it's equal to the price per pound of chicken? B and C represent the price. So B is beef, C is chicken. So what was the price per pound of beef when it was equal to, okay, so when B is equal to C, so that would be when these two things are equal. So 2.35 plus 0.25x, 1.75 plus 0.4x. Okay, and now, so this is 0.6 is equal to 0.15x, x is equal to 4. And then, normally I would look for x equals to 4, but that's not an answer choice, so now I gotta reread the question. What is the price per pound of beef? Okay, so they're looking for the B value. Okay, 2.35 plus 0.25 times 4 plus 1, so that's really 1, so that's 3.35, so that's D. 12, a line passes through the origin and has a slope of 1/7, so it's going to be 1/7 x, so that's the equation. Which of the following point lies on the line? Okay, so at 0, when x equals 0, that's not going to work. When x is equal to 1, you get 1/7, that's not 7. When x is equal to 7, I would get 1, not 7, so that doesn't work. So it's probably D. But this is kind of an odd one out because it's the only one that doesn't have 7 as its y value, so I'm going to just double check it. So 14 over 7 is 2, which is yes, so it's D. 13. Okay, I'm not going to do that one. 14. Okay, 14. I know how to do this really easily, but if I were in high school, I probably wouldn't remember exponents. So I would probably come back to that one too. This thing is equal to this thing for all values, and also A plus B is equal to 8. What are two possible values for C? Alright, whatever. My natural instinct is to multiply these out using the FOIL method. So I'm going to get A, B, x squared plus 2bx plus 7ax plus 14 is equal to 15x squared plus cx plus 14. Okay, I'm going to forget the 14s that ever existed. And okay, so that must be equal to that. AB is 15. But that's important, so I'm going to circle it. Okay, C. So here's the x's. So this is saying that 2b plus 7a is equal to c. And then so there's another equation. And then I also know that a plus b is equal to a. So that's a third equation. And now I know, okay, a is equal to 3, b is equal to 5. That's kind of obvious from these two equations. And so if that's the case, then 2 times b, which is 5, plus 7 times a is equal to 10 plus, so that's 31. So I have a 31. Well, it must be D then, because that's the only one with 31, and I'll assume that the other value is 41. But okay, wonderful. Skip the instructions, because hopefully I'm familiar with those already. T is this, and that is that. What is the value of T? Okay, so find T. So T squared is 4, so T is equal to plus or minus 2. And I know that I can't put that into the answer sheet, so I have to kind of reread this. T must be positive, so T is 2. 17, so geometry, wonderful. We want to find x in the sketch above. My natural instinct is that these are going to be similar or congruent triangles, because otherwise there's not really anything you can do. So these are the same, these are the same, so they are congruent triangles. I'm happy with that. Now I just have to know the relative sizes of each of them. So AB, the lengths represented are AB, determined to be 1800. Okay, so AB is 1800. And hopefully I get BC. If I had that, I could compare the sizes. They don't give me BC, crap. Okay, EB is 1400. EB is 1400. BD is, okay, BD is 700. And CD, okay, that's this side, is 800. Okay, so this triangle is twice this, so I'm going to write 2x here, and then 1x, to indicate that this one's twice the size. So I know this is twice the size, and this side is 1600. So I would say 1600, and I would read the question, make sure what is the value of x. 1600, okay, yeah, we're good. 18. Okay, so this is another system of equations. I'm not even going to do it yet, because systems of equations always take time. Trigonometry. In a right triangle, one angle measures that. So because I've taken pre-calc, I kind of am going to naturally think that it's going to be one of those trigonometric identity things, but that would be in the wrong direction. But that's what I would think initially. So I'm just going to box that one. 20. If a is this and 2a is this, what's the value of x? Okay, I'm going to square both sides. I get 4a squared is equal to 2x. And then I know that a is this thing. So this is 4 times the square of a, and then is this equal to 2x. 2's go away, 4 is, so that's 100. It's equal to x. Okay, so let me, what time is it? Stop, make a quick break. Okay, so that took just over 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes I've run through the first iteration of this section of the test. And if I go through all of these, I think, okay, so we're going to have to do 7, 9, 13, 14, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 18 and 19. So there are 6 questions left out of 20, so that's 30%. So we did actually do 70% of the test. It's been 10 minutes and 14 seconds. We have another 15 minutes left, and we have only 30% of the test left to go over. So now we're going to do all the hard problems for the last, we're going to spend like another 10 minutes doing the harder problems for the first time.